Hello, graduates, family, friends, faculty, and staff. I am Sasha West, and I am the student member of the Bellevue College Board of Trustees. I have the honor of beginning today's commencement ceremony with a land acknowledgement. We pause to acknowledge that both Bellevue College and T-Mobile Park reside on the traditional land of the Coast Salish peoples that includes but is not limited to Snoqualmie, Suquamish, Muckleshoot, Tulalip, and Duwamish peoples past and present. We remember their connection to the region and recognize their suffering due to systemic oppression. We commit to care for the land and center equity at the core of our unlearning. We further commit to using our expanded education and agency to acknowledge injustice and work to make systemic change in support of Indigenous rights. Thank you, and welcome to the Bellevue College 2022 ceremonial commencement. Thank you.
Honored graduates, distinguished guests, members of the Board of Trustees, Foundation Board, faculty, staff, friends, and loved ones. Thank you for joining us on this momentous and joyous occasion. I'm Gary Locke, Interim President of Bellevue College, and it is my deep honor to convene this 2022 commencement ceremony of Bellevue College. It's the first time we've been able to hold this celebration in person since the start of the pandemic, which makes today even more special. To the class of 2022, everyone here is in awe of your accomplishments. You have met and overcome once-in-a-generation set of challenges, and we are just so proud to have been part of your journey. Your resilience in the face of adversity will inspire other students for years to come. Among those here to congratulate you are faculty, staff, and administrators who believe in the power of education. So let's take a moment to honor them for upholding the college's mission and helping you reach this milestone. So I'd like to introduce them and ask them to stand and remain standing, and I ask all of the audience to hold your applause until I have finished with the introductions. Members of the Board of Trustees, please stand. College vice presidents and executive leaders, please stand. Officers of the Bellevue College Foundation, please stand. And finally, deans, faculty, and staff, wherever you may be, please stand. Let's give them all a big round of applause. Thank you. We also have many family members and friends here to celebrate your success. To them, today is truly a testament of your support, sacrifice, love, encouragement, and even nagging. The success of our graduates is also your success. Today is your day of celebration and pride just as well. Let's give them a big round of applause. And all of you, students and family, persevered through these tumultuous, unusual, and uncertain times. Against the backdrop of the pandemic, you persisted undeterred in achieving your academic goals. You juggled online classes, work, and family obligations with grit and determination. You adapted to new ways of learning and strengthened your own self-discipline, skills that will continue for the rest of your life. And while you're entering now or in a few years a job market that is abundant with opportunity, there are many uncertainties and challenges that still lie ahead. Systemic racism and racial injustice continue to plague our nation. We've seen a stark increase in hate crimes and gun violence that has taken too many lives. Economic disparity is growing. And we know too well that our dependence on fossil fuels is changing our climate, changing our lives, and impacting communities all around the world. Never before have the challenges facing our communities, nation, and planet been so daunting. But never before has a graduating class been so prepared to meet them. You must use the education and analytical skills you have developed at Bellevue College to move our communities forward with equality and fairness, and to confront and alleviate suffering and conflict in our society. You know too much and are too talented to turn your backs on disease, poverty, ignorance, tyranny, racism, climate injustice, whether around the world, here in America, in your own communities, or at your workplace. As the remarkable Congressman and civil rights icon John Lewis, who I had the amazing honor to work with in Washington, D.C., he said, "Freedom is not a state, it is an act. It is not some enchanted garden perched high on a distant plateau where we can finally sit down and rest. Freedom is the continuous action we all must take, and each generation must do its part to create an even more fair, just society." So graduates, when you finally hold that diploma in your hand, you will hold the power of education and the responsibility of human progress. Honor both. While today's ceremony marks an ending to one part of your academic journey, the need to continue and deepen your learning will never end. These past 2 years have shown us that change itself is the new normal. And when you come to a crossroads in your career or need new skills to move forward, Bellevue College will be here with the classes, degrees, and incredible faculty and staff to take you to the next step. So again, congratulations. We wish you the very best of luck. Thank you very much. And now I'm pleased to introduce the chair of the Board of our Trustees, Richard Lay, who will introduce our keynote speaker. Richard.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I'd like to echo the remarks of President Locke to congratulate the class of 2022 on this momentous occasion and recognizing your significant accomplishments. Congratulations. Today, I am honored to introduce our keynote speaker, Mimi Jung. Ms. Jung is an Emmy Award-winning morning anchor on King 5 News. She was born and raised in Puyallup and loves calling Western Washington home. She attended Syracuse University, where she graduated with a broadcast journalism degree. After beginning her broadcasting career in Las Vegas, Ms. Jung has spent the past 22 years at King 5's anchoring and reporting some of the biggest stories in Seattle. She's a gifted journalist and says the best part of her job is being the first to inform our local community of the news while we get our days started. Ms. Jung considers her greatest accomplishment, however, is being mom to her 2 daughters, who she describes as the most delightful, funny, and joyful kids on the planet. I am grateful and delighted that Ms. Jung is part of today's commencement ceremony, speaking to the class of 2022. Her message is sure to be an inspiration to all of us. Mimi?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Richard, for that incredible introduction. I know what you're thinking. Wow, she's a lot shorter in person than she is on TV. Luckily, with this podium, I actually don't need a booster seat. Thank you, Governor Locke, for inviting me to be a part of this incredibly special day. I am truly honored and feel it is such a privilege to be a part of this milestone and to celebrate the class of 2022. You made it. So soak in this moment right here in this ballpark. After all the late night studying, the hours of online classes you had to endure, the 2 jobs that you maybe had to hold down in order to pay for tuition, you made it. You're here today, surrounded by your family and friends who I know are beaming with pride. Now, I'm going to be a little vulnerable here for a moment and share with you that when I was first invited to be your commencement speaker, I was humbled, but I was nervous because I thought, this is a lot of pressure. What could I possibly say to you to inspire you that you haven't already heard? What words of wisdom could I possibly impart that has not already been accomplished in a commencement speech? The truth is, being a keynote speaker at an event as significant and special as this isn't something I ever dreamed of. This little girl from Puyallup never imagined standing in a stadium in front of thousands of people giving advice to college graduates, the daughter of immigrant parents who came to this country not speaking the English language, a little girl whose parents didn't grow up with the opportunity for an education. You see, my dad is the oldest of 5, and when he was 17, he moved away from his family in China to Canada, where he had some relatives. And he started working in order to earn money to send back to his parents and his siblings. My mother stopped going to school at the age of 14 so she could start working in a sewing factory. My parents came here to America like so many other families, so their children could live the American dream and take advantage of all the opportunities that this country has to offer, which includes getting an education. They wanted their children to live a life far more spectacular and better than they could have ever lived themselves. So it was never lost on me, even as a small child, the importance of an education. And through my parents, I witnessed what hard work, perseverance, and tenacity looks like. I watched my middle-aged mother, raising 3 kids, enroll herself in Pierce College. So while I was working on my calculus homework as a high schooler, I was helping her with her grammar homework, helping her with her writing essays and fine-tuning her English assignments. And let me tell you, doing that definitely helped me appreciate how difficult the English language is. But after years, and I mean literally years of working towards getting all the credit she needed, at the age of 47, she graduated with her GED. And that allowed her, thank you. That allowed her to get her first real job as a teller at Bank of America. And I will never forget the look of pride on her face when she would come home practically every day to tell us that she was the only teller in the whole branch that had a 0 balance. And what that meant is basically all the money in her drawer was accounted for and she wasn't over or under. My mom demonstrated that you're never too old and it's never too late to pursue a dream and fulfill it. I saw what it looks like to push through something uncomfortable, overcoming language barriers and cultural differences to achieve something that at times seemed hard to reach. And nothing fazed her. Nothing difficult would faze her. And when I would ask her, Mom, how did you get through that? What kept you going? She would tell me, if you want to do something bad enough, you'll find a way to do it. I wouldn't be here today if it were not for my parents' sacrifices. I've been able to graduate from college, the first in my family to do so. And some of you here might be able to relate to that achievement. I've been able to have a successful career in journalism, in my hometown, at the TV station I grew up watching. And in my 25-year career, I've had a front row seat to some of the biggest news stories. I have met people on their best days and their worst days. And I have learned so much about how to live life from the people I interviewed. From covering our local Olympians in the Winter Olympics in Italy, I watched years of training and hard work culminate in a moment of exhilaration for some and heartbreak for others. I saw grit, determination, dreams becoming reality on the ice rink and in the mountains of the Italian Alps. I also saw disappointment, failure, falling short. And for me, the most inspiring stories weren't about the Olympic athletes that made it to the medal ceremony, although that was incredible to witness. I found inspiration in the athletes in what they did in the midst of defeat. What does disappointment teach you? How do you not let one failure mentally derail you? What I learned is strength isn't always evident when life goes the way you think it's going to go. It's when life doesn't go the way you'd hoped or expected. I saw that in the story of a mother who watched her son die of a drug overdose at the age of 25 after years of battling a drug addiction, an addiction that started with smoking pot as a young teenager and then led to heroin. She told me about the heartbreak of watching your loved one disappear before your eyes and you can't do anything about it. But out of despair, she started an organization that helps other parents navigate the challenges of addiction. She literally has helped to save lives. She found joy and fulfillment, strength and purpose when life didn't go the way she thought it would. I've always known that my job comes with a huge responsibility. Freedom of the press is critical to our democracy. So is giving a voice to the voiceless and informing our community. But the importance of journalism was never more apparent than at the beginning of the COVID pandemic, when everything shut down. Everyone was told, stay home, only leave your house if you need to go for a walk. Only essential workers were allowed to go to work, and that was me. So when everyone else was hunkered down, I drove down eerily deserted streets of my neighborhood into a practically empty building with bare bones staff. And for months, I sat in the studio by myself, informing the public of what they needed to know, talking to experts and getting answers to the questions that everyone was asking. What is this virus? How does it spread? How many people are getting sick and dying? Is it safe to go to the grocery store? Should we stock up on food? And how much toilet paper do we really need? As people started returning to their normal lives, the most surprising thing happened. For the first time in my career, people stopped me in the grocery store, even on the street, to thank me for being there for them every morning. In a world that was so uncertain and everything as we knew it was turned upside down, I was the one steady voice that they could rely on, someone who could make them laugh. And they thanked me for the humanity I brought during a really scary time. And that's when I realized that there is no award, no prestigious title, no amount of money that I could make that's better than that feeling. Because it's not about what I do, it's about who I am. And it's about what I do with my job that can have an impact. Success used to mean maybe getting that exclusive interview, maybe taking over for Katie Couric on the Today Show. And now success means making someone feel comfortable and safe during an interview when they were really nervous walking in, and allowing them to open up and share their true emotions with me. It means hearing from grieving parents who just lost their son and have them tell me that it was my compassion that helped them at a time when they were most vulnerable. You don't need a TV platform with an audience as big as mine to make people remember how you made them feel. You don't need a high-profile job to live your life in a way that makes a difference in someone else's life. It's not just about what you do, it's about who you are. Another way to think about this is, are you a human being or a human doing? I challenge you just not to focus on what you're doing, accumulating and achieving wealth, status, power, without being compassionate, generous, giving, selfless. So as you end this chapter and begin a new one, I want you to know that each one of you has gifts and talents that serve a purpose. And what you do for a living is just a vehicle in which you can use those gifts and talents. I hope you'll remember that what really matters in life isn't found on your resume. As you walk across this stage today and you get your diploma and you go on to pursue success in your profession, keep in mind that the degrees, the titles, the positions of power, the awards, while admirable and certainly important, that's not what you'll be remembered for. As Maya Angelou famously said, and it's what I live by, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. I hope you'll remember that when life gets hard or doesn't turn out the way you hoped or expected, honor the journey. There is beauty in the toughest of circumstances if you choose to look for it. And in your journey, you may at times feel lost, which is actually one of the best kept secrets of adulthood, that we don't have everything figured out. But I promise, don't lose heart. You will find your way. And finally, I hope you'll remember to face your fears and do something that might feel scary or uncomfortable. Accept that invitation to be a commencement speaker if you get the chance. Because it's in those moments that you will really grow. Class of 2022, I want you to know that I wholeheartedly believe in you, and I can't wait to hear about all the exciting and profound things that you will do in your life. So go do those amazing and wonderful things, but be bold, be brave, and be the change that our world and our community needs. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mimi, for your wonderful words of encouragement and for being part of our celebration here today. Hello, graduates, family, friends, faculty, and staff. My name is Rob Viennes. I serve as the Associate Vice President of Academic Affairs here at Bellevue College, and I have the honor today of introducing our faculty speaker. It's been my pleasure to know and work with tonight's speaker, Robert Hobbs, for many of the 30 years that he has served as a physics professor at Bellevue College. Robert grew up in a blue-collar family in rural eastern Colorado. At the age of 14, he began attending the annual World Affairs Conference, which sparked a passion for science and inspired him to study physics at the University of Colorado. He then went on to pursue a graduate degree in mathematical physics at Indiana University, Bloomington. At Bellevue College, Robert can be found at all hours working with students in the physics labs. He is a recipient of the college's Margin of Excellence Award in recognition of his service to students and colleagues. He has been actively involved in numerous campus initiatives, including playing an instrumental role in writing a grant that led to the development and construction of the N building. Robert also participated in a fruitful collaboration with the Physics Education Research Group at the University of Colorado Boulder, which resulted in being a co-author on numerous papers in the field of physics. To his great surprise, Robert is well known by people all over the world for his contributions to the field. But most importantly, Robert is known by so many students at Bellevue College for his engaging teaching and his desire to help them succeed, both in his classes but also by laying the foundation for their future success. So it's my pleasure to welcome to the podium Professor Robert Hobbs.
So, one thing I told Alicia when she was arranging for me, this is Alicia doing everything for us, is that I don't give talks without toys. I made this from our kit supplies that we use to teach physics. And that's not part of my prepared remarks. Many of you are here tonight through the patience or sacrifice of others. My siblings and I all gathered recently for my mother's 90th birthday and reflected on that theme. Her experiences and humanistic views greatly shaped my outlook on nearly everything. But her life choices had a more significant impact still. Her story offers context for my remarks today. She was raised in New York in an orphanage during the Depression. She married into blue-collar America in rural eastern Colorado in the early 50s. She divorced when I was 7 to protect her children from abuse. A single mother of 6 in this era had few options, and nearly all of them involved poverty. But poverty itself was not her central concern looking into the future. Our town, like many rural communities, was pretty monocultural and was still reverberating with the traces of McCarthyism. There would be only a narrow range of alternative futures for her children to choose from, both economically and intellectually. You're likely wondering about this device. It's a Wilberforce pendulum, and it exchanges rotational energy with translational energy, and then goes back. I marveled at the complete exchange when I first saw it. And that was about the same time that my mother was making her difficult choices. As soon as I saw it, I knew that whatever I was going to become in my life, it would have to involve understanding things like this. And that, too, was not going to happen in that small community. So my mother got training in computer programming through IBM in 1962, and that took us to a larger community and a little bit better money. But that profession is not as highly paid as it is now, and recall that women in the 60s earned about 60% of what a man did for the same work. She worked very hard at her first job. Less than a year after starting, she'd written much of the code that they had hired a team of 3 to complete. They needed to let someone go, and it was to be her. A single mother of, I lost my place. It had to be her because there were men and they had families to support. So not reflecting on the fact that she was the most productive member of the team or that she had a family of her own to support. But in 1964, being a single woman with children was still a social crime. She needed to get married and not take money from a man. She moved us after that to Boulder, where the University of Colorado was. But the nearest job she could get was in Denver, a 1-hour commute away, each direction. She did that for 10 years so that her children would have the opportunities that exist in a college town. Her choice made a significant difference to all of her children. For me, it meant attending the World Affairs conferences at the University of Colorado beginning in middle school. Each spring, I took off school for a week and spent time on a college campus listening to talks by national figures about world events and participating in the question sessions at the end. But that meant that by the time I actually went to the university, I was really comfortable in that environment. In fact, even in most of the buildings. Many of my friends went away to college, but returned the following year because the experience was overwhelming. I think about what that would have been like if I'd come directly to Boulder from my rural town. Boulder was also a science hub, and that meant that work study was available for me actually doing physics. Most significant of those jobs was at NIST, the same facility that also houses the atomic clock. Financial aid made it possible for me to go to school, but working in a national laboratory made it possible to get to graduate school. Other resources unique to Boulder paved the way for my sister, too. She attended graduate school and earned a PhD from Stanford. My mother had two goals in making her choices: access to more opportunities and exposing us to a spectrum of ideas. She endured 10-hour days living in poverty in an expensive town, so her children had diverse opportunities and exposure to ideas that did not exist where we were born. By her example, these became deep values that guided me to this career path. I know firsthand that these goals also motivate my colleagues in the faculty. We would all of us would hope that we have provided experiences at Bellevue College that mirror my mother's goals. Graduates, I ask, do you feel you have more choices now than when you began this journey? Do you have larger ideas or see the world in a different way through the courses you've been exposed to at Bellevue College? And like me, do you have someone in your life that sacrificed so you could reach those goals? From your earlier enthusiastic response when Governor Locke asked us to thank the family here, I believe that last question is well answered. This Wilberforce pendulum illustrates an exchange of energy back and forth. And just as we faculty try to provide a path and strive to foster success in our students, your success feeds us and gives us the energy to continue. It fills us with pride at your accomplishment, and it energizes us for the next group of students. What goes around comes around. And I brought this out because this particular device is a personal symbol of me reaching my goals. And I wanted to share it with you as I and the faculty celebrate your success at reaching your goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert, for sharing your words and your toys. It's my pleasure to also introduce to you tonight our student speaker. Determination, selflessness, and commitment are a few words to describe this extraordinary student. Florida Mahano Chishesa is from the Democratic Republic of Congo. She is in the International High School Completion Program at Bellevue College, and today she graduates with an associate degree in mechanical engineering. In the fall, she will attend the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. During her time at Bellevue College, Florida worked in many different offices across campus, including the Academic Success Center, International Education, and the BC Makerspace. She assisted new international students in making a smooth transition to the U.S. and to Bellevue College by guiding them to many of the college's resources. Florida served as the Vice President of Fellowship in the BC Phi Theta Kappa chapter and was recognized as the 2022 All-Washington Academic Team winner. She was also the recipient of the 2021 Hoffman Calculus Award and a 2022 Transforming Lives Award nominee and a Global Academic and Leadership Award winner. Florida enjoyed volunteering on and off campus. She recently participated in a project at the college where students recycled plastic bags by turning them into yarn, then crocheting them into bedrolls that were then distributed to people experiencing homelessness in Seattle. She also participated in many research projects, including a year-long project with physics faculty member Robert Hobbs, who you just heard from. Florida found a home at Bellevue College and a supportive community that guided her toward accomplishing her dreams and goals. She learned how to give back to her community by mentoring, tutoring, and supporting other BC students. But Florida also had a tremendous impact on the Bellevue College community. Florida, I wish you the best of luck in all that you strive to do, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the podium.
Dear class of 2022, today is our day. It's a day we thought may not going to be possible. It's a day rewarded by our hopes and dreams which we refuse to surrender. Through many life challenges, including a most difficult pandemic that will define our generation for years, we have shown our determination, commitment, and encouragement to reach our goals. Before moving too far into my speech, I want to take a moment and honor those friends and relatives whose support has brought us here today, and although they wish they could be with us at this moment, it is not possible. I want to celebrate our professors and the staff at Bellevue College, who have always found ways to continue working hard for us, even as they face their own challenges during the past 2.5 years. They have found ways to continue working hard, bringing innovative ideas forward, and supporting us so we can all see this moment at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. Today marks the end of an important chapter in our lives, and with that end comes a new beginning. Let us celebrate with those who have accompanied us and given their support. Let us celebrate with those who believed in us more than we believed in ourselves. Let us celebrate those who gave their time to listen to our struggles and reflect wise empathy. Consider this an official shout out to our parents, siblings, mentors, professors, advisors, pastors, friends, and others who made us smile when we needed it and gave us strength to continue as we felt challenged to move forward. Our success today depends on so many others, but don't forget, it also depends on you. My mentor, Dr. John Dar Campbell, has been telling me over these past few years, life is not easy, school is not easy, giving up is a choice, but by giving up, you become a statistic while others who choose to continue write history. This statement has tricked my mind whenever school and become my motto whenever school will almost crush me. Yeah. Remember your character in this story. Remember the quarters you skipped meals to finish studying. Remember the times your struggle led you seek help at the Academic Success Center, International Education, BC Foundation, or talk to someone in the counseling center. On those days, perhaps you couldn't imagine this day will come. Our community has given its support, but each of us has chosen the route onward, no matter how many times we had to pick ourselves up and seek support. As we think back to these times, now just nostalgic memories, We can give ourselves a round of applause. It's our moment. We did it. Pursuing my studies in the US was like an unreachable goal. I was confident, but as a woman, I did not have equal opportunity. This has been a long battle for women from all over the world. Becoming an engineering major was unexpected. I still remember my parents' reaction when I told them about my plan to major in mechanical engineering. It took almost 6 months for them to stop trying to change my mind. Please don't misunderstand me. My parents support me a lot, but to others in the community, I appeared as a rebellious woman who couldn't fit into what they called normal. When I came to the US, I thought things would be easier. It was a place where women had gained that social battle. However, I found myself in another reality. I was a 16-year-old Black woman. My new struggle was to convince skeptical people that I was just a human being carrying a dream as important as someone else's dream. I felt like society was challenging me again. I became a person who challenged back the norms. I was determined. I started looking at obstacles as a way of testing my perseverance. Whenever I felt it would be easier to give up, I found the strength to continue. I told myself I will become a leader who can help others build their confidence. Today, I firmly believe that my attitude and outlook help me be where I am and who I am. If I was not an outgoing, curious, and active student, I would have missed the chance to work on a research project with my physics professor, Mr. Robert Hobbs, and many other research projects with my professors. If I let myself be defeated by any class that I took, I would have now been selected for the 2022 All-Washington academic team. If I didn't take these challenging times as opportunities to strengthen the person that I am, I would have now applied to MIT, where I will continue my studies this fall 2022. Our success today and human stories will flourish from here, like mine, where a young girl from Congo can dream alongside a young girl from America. Together they can celebrate and be celebrated. Each of us honors and shares the unique importance of her story, and we hope this sharing allows us to create trusted bonds as we continue to prepare for the future. So, what next? Today we close one chapter and start a new one. Whatever your goal is, transferring, entering the workforce, or taking some time off, I hope the time at Bellevue College gave us the chance to reflect on how we can contribute to making a better world. From your daily life habits to your academic or professional expertise, each of us has a unique strength and has something to bring to the table. Whatever we decide to do, let's approach it with the same determination and same passion. Life is a daily struggle, but never let others limit your capabilities. At the end of the day, we all share the same humanity. Let the humanity in us help us see the world with new eyes and confront reality with new determination. If COVID-19 couldn't kill our dreams, nobody can. Let us fly today like never before. Congratulations, class of 2022. We did it.
To our commencement speaker, Mimi Jung, our faculty speaker, Robert Hobbs, and our student speaker, Florida Chichese, thank you for your heartfelt messages and words of wisdom and encouragement and inspiration. Now it is time to confer the degrees. We will now present the class of 2022 to the Board of Trustees, who will award their degrees. Richard Lay, Chair of the Board of Trustees, please join me at the podium. Graduates, if you are able, please rise and remain standing. Board of Trustees. Board of Trustees, I present to you the 2022 candidates for the following degrees as duly recorded in our commencement program. Bachelor of Applied Arts, Bachelor of Applied Science, Bachelor of Science, Associate in Applied Science, Associate in Arts, Associate in Arts and Sciences, Associate in Business, Associate in Math Education, Associate in Music, Associate in Occupational and Life Skills, Associate in Science, Certificate of Accomplishment, Certificate of Achievement, and High School Diploma. These candidates have been judged by the faculty to have met the requirements of their programs and to be entitled to their appropriate credentials.
Under the authority granted to the Board of Trustees by the State of Washington, the Board confers these proper degrees, and we ask you, the graduates, to accept from the college, your families, and the whole community the congratulations that you so richly deserve. Thank you.
Course marshals, please lead the first graduates to the stage. And graduates, you may remain seated until your row is called. And to the friends and families, a professional photographer will be taking close-up pictures of your graduates as they receive their diplomas, and you'll receive emails on how you can get copies of those photographs. Let us begin.
Bachelor of Applied Arts, Interior Design, Boning Zhao. Yikong Yua. Wei Ching Sang. Scott David McBride. Ryan Ross. Pankuri Jain. Jordan Aiden. Helen Rubio. Bobby Quigley Chapman. Mona Imura. Ho Jung Ho. Nev Lay Cushman. Nicole Nurchian Gessley. Sorry, Nicole. Shannon Ondeck. Aya Bankasli. Erica Nguyen Tai. Elizabeth Rose Borgatti. Faith Autumn Francis. Sandra Del Carmen Lopez Mendez. Yadira Diaz. Bachelor of Applied Science, Applied Accounting. Madison Nicole Mason. Pinar Aksu Kilik. Aurelia Turkan. Elena Ivan Ishchuk. Chung Nguyen. Tu Vo. Martin Summers. Isaiah Dowding Albrecht. Dek Ma. Pacific McClanahan, sorry. Lillian No. Frida Hanks. Fundi Prince Usine. Ali Usine Ali. Sage Clyden. Jae Young Cho. Min Chao Nuk Do. Nung Bao Trin.
Bami Chen. Elisa Wezu. Leslie Krasinski. Chelsea Dogal. Cameron Reggio. Avalon Haley. Noreen Muckstream. Jamie Tar O. Will Scott. Matthew Patrick E. Wiki. Lorraine Lee. Che Yoon Oh. Salama Bekkali. Tavi Famtran. Jacqueline Caesar Madrigal. Bachelor of Applied Science, Digital Marketing. Anna Wright Cockerham. Taylor Grace Todd. Maxim Ekremenko. Justin Dorgan. Joshua Edward Flores. Catherine Hernandez. Lucia Isabella Lamena Chavez. Parwa Shan. Shemai Yoshif. Mazia Elizabeth Mose. Colleen Magana. Victoria Priscilla Santana Fennell. Junae Marie Love. Jennifer Gomez Parks. Samantha Fina. Liliana Kamadulin. Ruth Mavinga Malungida. Bachelor of Applied Science, Health and Wellness. Brian Michael Wong. Justin Taff. Reggie Constanza. Sheba Rose Walter. Congratulations. Bachelor of Applied Science, Bachelor of Applied Science, Health and Wellness. Lane Whitaker Valentine. Bachelor of Applied Science, Health Informatics. Elijah McCarthy. Omad Asadi. Mabel Atinga. Margot H. Walker. Naktu Pham. Bachelor of Applied Science, Health Informatics. Eugene Lubijing P.O. Quinto. Bachelor of Applied Science, Health Management and Leadership. Jesse Navarro. Jackson Costin. Lavinia Jenny Harden. Lauren Mars. Angelina Fetui. Tyra Bell. Aliyah Lawson. Bachelor of Applied Science, Healthcare Management and Leadership. Dominique Danielle Smith. Bachelor of Science, Informatics, Information Systems and Technology. Barney Mukadi Yoshi. Yasmin Mahdi. Alex Mian Gilsong. Dennis Martinez. Efonzi Kelke. Govardini Pusala. Laura Donna Brilhart Thomason. Anthony Berry. Anastasia Gurkahi. Guskari. Okay. Anna Tarsika. Tarumi Maluku. Thomas Abebe. Omar Ture. Kenneth Evans, Emmanuel Profer Retreat, Trupti Dali, Alejandra Valencia, Shengxing Wang, Dana Arbel, Emmanuel Tishmanga, Bryce James Matias, Ivy Lee Wen Tran, Kung Like Kangaroo. One moment. It's the card. Come back. Kongtron. James McElroy. Brandon Thompson. Andrew Lawson. Mahmoud Al-Nuri. Marwan Ali Deb. Benjamin Como. Kevin Flores. T-Cot Win. Noah Blaché. Sandra Kinsey. Andrew Wilson. Thais Abercinde da Silva. Thais. Carl Nelson. Neil Douglas McCracken. Darren Ross. Nicole N. Min. Brittany Odell. Nina Raliotto. Oscar Cruz Ruiz.
Bachelor of Applied Science, Molecular Biosciences. Prabin Bahadar Dahal. Rose Friedman. Joshua Adam Marcus. Stephanie Kenshan Arias. Gabriela Boyadki-Ski. April Danielle Woodworth. Helena Haidene Ochoa Moreno. Evingi Morgan. Talia Nix Salisbury. Nunyi Do. Dejone Johnson. Pabricia KC. Bachelor of Applied Science, Information Systems and Technology, Kagendre Chatri. Bachelor of Applied Science, Radiation and Imaging Sciences. Janine E. Ledesma. Nick Angela Redburn. Bachelor of Applied Science, Radiation and Imaging Sciences. Jamie Rosted. Bachelor of Science, Computer Science. Farzad Ryan Benabas. Asel Sathkamura. Jason Ho. Connor Bennett. Jarrell Zhang Yo Ko. Colby Sawada. Ishan J. Jessica Ramos Cortez. Derek Amadeus Edelman. Jafar Alzubade. Jonas Amoa. Leo Kostin. Kondang Kwak Mai. Benjamin Petrosky. Nora Elijah Moore. Duncan Kering. David Vandenbroek. Bachelor of Science, Computer Science. Aiden D. Shukharov. Bachelor of Science, Nursing. Freyhawate Isu. Nikki Valdivinos Reyes. Ambaye Gebru. Barbara Blick. Cameron Matthew Jones Mike. Jeremias Ariel Ramirez. Associate in Applied Science Accounting. Maria del Rosario Yori Vargas. Congratulations. Daria Belova. Tatiana Walter. Cecilia Castro. Associate in Applied Science, Allied Health, Matthew Dillon. Trong Nguyen Yen Ni. Elizabeth Ann Morris. Bing Yu Wu. Ru Ting Wu. Brett Keonu Cottingham. Olena Domina. Sally Abraham. Thank you. Indu Sareen. Mira Socorros Leon Aguilar. There you go. Thank you. Camille Ostrom. Hind Alkani. Aline Furtado Gardner. Brittany Lachey Anderson. Mirna Lopez Orozco. Isabel Dalogno. Associate in Applied Science, Criminal Justice, Ruth Solis. Dylan Russell Van Vliet. Associates in Arts, Diagnostic Ultrasound Technology, Constance Marie Barkey. Catherine Calais Martinez. Shane Bradley Leith. Brielle Woodsley. Jeanette Madrano. Associates in Applied Science, Digital Marketing, Shelley Marie Bauer. Elode Duo. Rebecca Mujinga Mamka. Associate in Arts, Digital Media Arts, Philip Ta. Markel Tamaras. Andre Fuji Jorgensen. Mark Anthony Whipstock. Essence Lynn Latrice Dixon. Finn Rotis. Hotari Nishiara. Carson Warden. All right, let me get those. Take those two. Martha Teresa Hernandez Arias. Yujung Lee. Jessica Guillermina Garcia. There we go. Zoe Schneider. Thank you. Benjamin Scott Becker. Kyra Jackson. Aaliyah Henwood. Erie Valentine. Caleb Davis. Associate in Applied Science Information Systems. Meskiram Aya Lu. James Buck. Riley Page Openyao. Bushiri Bush Usene. Crispin Tweet. Associate in Arts, Interior Studies, Naklan Do. Dembois Mutombo Biosha. Pei-Ying Oh. I'll take that too. Let me see that. Joylyn Subali. Miral Ito Mazova. Sabrina Calderon. Golkanam Ivazovnova. I think I've just messed that up. Lori Smith. Hi, good to see you.
Associate in Applied Science Nursing, Ashley Ann Carpenter. Essence Ratliff. Chloe J. Marul Khatri. Sarah Kelly. I'm gonna take these off. Raji Lakshmi. Vanessa Sanchez Quinos. Kian Day Kalfas. Lacey Marshall. Danielle Nicole Camacho. Rachel Carlos Bucedo. Kiari Lanyang. Kian E. Hire Tiro. Camila Cesar Pina. Sayakati Kiambo E. Lipia. Mi Young Brooks. Associate in Occupation and Life Skills, Zachary Daniels. Erin Kate Silva. Bryce Boga. Riley Patrick Roberts. Miguel Hen Mikoy. Bennett James Smith. Jacob Blackwood. Hello. James Diederich. Christina Ray Ekman. Evelyn Venera Azur Lindsay. Emma Norjean. Vin Doan. Kyle Betty. Samantha Liu. Sabine Teresa Weston. Brittany Telnes. Associate in Arts Radiation Therapy. Rochelle Lauren Evans. Sophia Garcia Charcoon.
Andrew Lynn. Associate in Arts Radiologic Technology, Alicia Barrow Washington. Associate in Arts and Sciences, Jenny Berglund. Ornella Asrieva. Gwyneth Ann Buckton. Jordi Monterrubio. Katia Gonzalez. Rihanna Nicole Lyons. Miriam Ali Rama. Anita Melnick. Sam Palmgren. Kate Larson. Desiree Marie Besson. Nara Kimye Su. Phok Hin Ching Lydia. Yan Lun Chung. Humama Zara. Bobby Chen. Andra K. Fung McDonald. Yazdan Gavinci. Dakota Kesterson. Andre Tran. Sabrina Sabor Mahojar. Indigo Kaylee Price. Stella Roberts. Allison Lamb. Desiree Bermudez. Charlie Gans. Abigail Reese. Kelsey Studioso. Melanie Hernandez. Jenny McPhee. Jordan Pascal. Andres Marin. Claudia Fitzner.
What's up, man?
Kevin Muslim. Aaron Chow. Stuart Cartwright. Garrett Fox. Berkeley Conkling. Robel Berhane. Sophia Zarina Yano. Sharice Lee. Eden Fenta. Rhiannon McKinley. Faith Pembaker. Sandy Miranda. Betzabe Bruno Aguilar. Ying Xuan Chen. Brandon Langford. Florencia Cruz. Kajol Sharma. Edis Voynoy. Ava Tahamzada. Natalia Helena Rek Satori Zanini. Anna Naeli Garcia. Tiffany Chung. Braden Keano. Cora Fancher. Tran Lay. Katie Paz. Stephanie Cash. Randolph Michael Halim. Erica Groschel. Lindsay Renee Hertzberg. Tucker Jacob Dylan Yates. Jacob Bowling. Aaliyah Rogers. Jordan Woodard. Benjamin Shipanov. Alex Padilla. Jared Atienzo. Priscilla Garcia Mendoza. Olivia Kazue. Locke. Let's get that right. Grace Frank. Maya Isabella Makowski. William Osborne. Joanne Phillips. Emily Maria Sarina. Elizabeth Citrisky. Louisa Marie Payne. Kelly Nakawui. Aveline Alport. Madison Ziffelhofer. Ellie Stainer. Tanaya Ogden. Leah Wong. Baron Kakoa Ballet Kopadal. Truk Tan Nguyen. Shui Wei She. Jun Wen Sheng. Miguel Rosario. Raquel Chavez Diaz. Prabhup Sandus. There we go. Nicholas Alcaraz. Rebecca Suzanne McCashland. Lauren Olivia Bacchus. Kamuthi Tanda. Jessica Shirista. Tu Viet No. Grace Gietzentanner. Haley Geibel. Melitza Yakovilich. Benjamin Williams. Ian John Probst. Congratulations. Kaya Barnes Smith. Jolan Vu. Andrew Liu. Ufans Mustafa. Waisi Abdallah. Fatima Atik. Zainab Latik. Noir Amir. Aisha Mahmoud. Colin Evan Doan. Gabrielle Possing. Catherine Margaret Hall. Madison Milovich. Shanti Walker.
Hey guys.
Aiden Zane Rohr.
Hey guys.
Matthew Ryan Fulmer. Matthew Wells. Mitchell Barnes. Bronwyn Joy Kernow. Mo Nilfarouche. Layla Royal. Janine Hasune. Dana Faji. Alexandra Mackenzie Sinclair. Alexis Sapigan. Elizabeth Brown. Natalia Janae Reeves. Henry David Otto. Japhet Tweet. Philip Dirks. Robbie Fletcher. Danielle Evans. Marissa Johnson. Eunice Nigoya. Saroon Norsby. Sahar Rosamalini. Roscoe Liner. Alondra Martinez Villalobos. Virginia Hart. Angel Bollinger. Nancy Maria Van Beek.
Parker Foster. Molly Ball. Benjamin Green. Lin Oki Guunsa Kara. Sulina Kuli Unsa. Darinka de los Angeles Gail Maka. Faith Danielle Portolo. Adrian Turkin. Haley Jackson. Marissa Huish. Ashley Lubell. Joer Ria. Nimco Bashir. Nazro Shirdan Ahmed. Fartoon Abdi Adin. Miriam Koran N. Fel. Maryam Shabar. Maryam Yoshef. Asiya Satar. Mace Al-Shamari. Thank you, Andrew. Andrew Ross. Tristan Hare. Laura Martinez. Ethan Rad. Jack Nota Angelo. Sydney Oyan Holman. Carter A. Miller. Zena Clark. Emily Shadul. Jabba Dabo. Tayan Lynn Good. Esbedi Bulanas Luis. Janava Viptui. Gumaran. Allison Kate Gumaran. Amiru Munoz. Juan Digo Rendon Aladan. Samuel Matindo. Grady Kanyenda Bioso. Meili Laris Dickinson. Caitlin Prugol. Evian Shunel Adams. Kylie Patterson. Ajane Shanice Harden. Associate in Business. Damien Romo Ota. Connor Roan. Austin Lee McKenzie. Urena Omiya. Dayan Kang. Pamkap Iokski. Shannon Lynn Hamilton. Anusha Bose. Beza Asham Jamel. Nicole Kavalavanu. Ryan Una. Butami Mai. Olga Takavera. Oh, sorry. Kobe Duncan. Raymond Majana. Samantha Trin. Iris Lung. Maria Fernanda Ellis Sanchez. Shannon Thompson. Carolina de Barros Anatochi. Carter Woods. Associate in Science, Track 1. Mia Donna Palladino. Tin Nan Tran. Camilla Savi Nani. Associate in Science, Track 2. Aura Zara Sinden. Florida Mancho Chisa. I should know that. Audrey Mabaz Kamen. Nigoya Mubila Micha. Joseph Tribe Malabo. Mikhail Nigo. Dennis Litvin-Nico. Abdullah Al-Kanani. Dong Nguyen Triyang. Kang Kanza. Arvin Nusalam. Kenan Jajadi. Ignatius Ali Dijon. Associate in Science, Track 2, Chemical and Bioengineering, Annabelle Acosta Cantu. Shiruri Kamarna Chandra. Nathan Pawi Jurgensen. Associate in Science, Track 2, Civil, Mechanical, and Other Engineering. Hiran King Gomez. Fernando Andres Beja Aguilera. Christina Matisse. Christiana. Associate in Science, Track 2, Electrical and Computer Engineering. Oban Islan Matthew. Certificate of Accomplishment, Early Childhood Education, General. Miriam Ali. Not this one. High school and office assistant. Maria Ventura Ramos. Certificate of Accomplishment, Data Analysis. Paola Andrea Pite. Certificate of Achievement, Medical Assistant. Bridget Ezosi Monpu Luco. Carolina Martinovo. Ryan Lambert. Josephine Bolin. Certificate of Accomplishment, Accounting Information Systems. Doris Salaros. Certificate of Achievement, Medical Billing and Coding. Lokana Kanal Aral. Certificate of Achievement, Introductory Net Programming. Linnell Guardian. Certificate of Completion, Personal Fitness Trainer. Lauren McKenna Kenyon. Trey Allen Truren. High School Diploma. Cooper James Stepanen. Additional degrees. Marcos Tato Lopez Guerra. Kitsia Keyime Ba. Duke Van Dang. Science technician? Science technician. Robin Bahia Dahl.
Just a little bit more. Wow, what a spirited rooting section, rooting our students from the Congo. We are very, very proud of our student body, Running Start students, international students, and students between the ages of 25 and 50 with families and working full or part-time jobs. Incredible diversity. Well, we're not quite done. But we have now arrived at that momentous occasion. Well, we'll wait for some of our students our graduates to get seated. All right, great, they're ready. We've now arrived at that moment of turning the tassel. And so graduates, please rise. Graduates, please rise. As a symbol of your transition from candidate to graduate, please move your tassel from the right to the left. From your right to the left. Family, friends, Board of Trustees, Foundation Board, faculty, and staff, I present to you the 2022 Bellevue College graduates. Congratulations. All right, you may now be seated. Graduates, congratulations. I hope you know just how proud all of us are of your achievement in getting to this day and your achievements yet to come. When I graduated from college, I was the first in my family to receive a degree. Growing up, my parents owned a small mom-and-pop grocery store in Seattle, and they worked 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 14 hours a day, and they never closed even for the holidays, not for Christmas or New Year's. And they denied themselves some of the smallest luxuries so that we children in the family could have a better life. And that's a common theme that you've heard from all of our speakers, from Mimi, from Mr. Hobbs, Professor Hobbs, and from Florida. Neither they nor I could have imagined the trajectory that their sacrifices and my career would take. So as you head into what's next, don't be afraid to reach higher and to dream bigger. Press forward. And as you've been able to demonstrate over these past few years, whatever you do, you can accomplish it. Have faith in your abilities and know that you can do it. John Lewis, our famed former member of Congress, civil rights icon, once said, "If you're not hopeful and optimistic, then you just give up. But you have to take the long, hard look and just believe that if you're consistent, you will succeed." All of us here are optimistic because of your success and what you've already achieved and will continue to achieve. Many people worked hard to make this celebration possible, so special thanks to our student speaker of Florida, faculty speaker Professor Hobbs, and our keynote speaker Mimi Jung, and the entire commencement committee for planning all the details of this great occasion. Let's give one big round of applause, however, to the leader of that planning committee, Alicia Keating-Paulson. Stand up, stand up. Come on, stand up, there she is. But to all of our volunteers and our faculty and staff, thank you so much for making this a most memorable and special occasion for not just our graduates, but their family and friends. Faculty, staff, officials, and guests, please rise for the recessional. And to the audience, please stay at your seats until the recessional is over in deference to our graduates. And when the graduates have exited, you may leave your seats to find them and offer your heartfelt personal congratulations. Thank you all for joining us for this momentum celebration. Go Bulldogs!